This is News 6 Tonight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to News 6 Tonight. It is Thursday. We are well on our way to the weekend. We are glad that you decided to spend some time with us. We hope this is your new streaming destination at 9 o'clock every night to get caught up on the day's news. And today's news is really, really awful today, and we're sorry to start with that, but that's just a fact of life. It's just reality. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
I'm Matt Austin. Sometimes with family, which we consider you family if you watch this show, you got to have some tough conversations. And
this is one of them.
It's just an awful kind of story. Anytime a little one passes away, it's terrible. And this situation, I just cannot wrap my mind around. I'm still trying to. So a mom and her husband were going out for mom's birthday. They leave their 5-month-old baby in the care of great-grandma, great-aunt. Seems like it should have been a wonderful night.
Yeah.
The issue is, though, that at some point the baby got a little fussy. Grandma puts the baby in the crib in the bedroom, and then she takes that time to let out the dogs out of their kennels. And one of the dogs is a 2-year-old, 130-pound Great Dane mix. And while the two ladies go to make some tea and some toast, that dog is somehow able to open the door, they say, gets into the crib, and kills that baby. There's just no easy way to say it.
It's a hard story to
It's brutal
to talk about.
for us. You know, this is the kind of story that's hard for us to tell. And then even more grizzled than us is a sheriff. Sheriff Mike Chitwood talked about this in a press conference today. Our community correspondent Molly Reed was there. Here's a little bit of what choked up Mike Chitwood.
The sheriff here says this was just a tragic and sad incident, and one where the family thought they were being careful. He says that the great-grandmother and great-aunt were babysitting the little boy while the parents went out for the mother's birthday dinner.
A young mother will remember on her birthday that her child is dead. And the grandparents, I just don't know how anybody feels about this. It is so tragic.
Sheriff Chitwood says the grandmother put the child in a crib in a bedroom and shut the door. He says she then let the dogs out of their crates after keeping them separated from the baby.
They go into the kitchen to make tea and toast, and when they return, they notice that the bedroom door is open.
Yeah, so you know if he's emotional, it's a story that's just rocking that community.
I mean, we were all shaken up about it, and when you hear just the stats of that, and the family, you know, now the mom has to remember her birthday, that she lost her baby, her 5-month-old, and they also they euthanized the dog today. That had to happen, and a lot of people are also sad about that. But what are the options for this family? And this dog is 130 pounds. That baby's a little baby, and they said that just the scene when they entered the room, the great-grandma, they say it was something that was unspeakable. And I'm looking at CDC stats about how many children die each year from dog-related deaths, and anywhere from 20 to 50, and the majority of the deaths are infants, because they can't defend themselves.
Right.
And the breeds, this was a mix of a
you
Great
don't
Dane
expect a Great
and a
Dane.
Husky is what they say.
Yes.
It was an unusual looking dog, but it's 130 pounds. That dog would challenge any of us. And we're not small people, but they say usually these fatal attacks involve, of course, we know pit bulls, Akitas, Rottweilers, and German Shepherds. Nowhere on this list would you see a Great Dane
or a Husky.
Yeah.
And you don't know if the dog, they don't know.
We don't
They
know.
could have thought it was a toy or...
because it's a baby. It's a baby.
Just hard to imagine. And
Yeah.
the parents actually came home in the middle of the 911 call, grabbed the baby. They tried to drive him to the hospital. But
it's a heartbreaking story.
There's just
but
no good way
you can never
to
be
say it.
too careful. It's just lock your doors. Make sure if you have a big dog or any dog, if you have an animal, it's got teeth, it can do some damage to anything. And so we just ask you to please make sure to double check. This family did all the right things. They had responsible people watching, and you know. And
we like to tell stories in which there's like a bad guy and a good guy,
this
just makes
sadness.
no sense.
It's just
and
sadness
it's
all
one of
around.
those that just hurts. So can we move on? on.
Yeah.
Please, Ginger.
Well, it's going to be to another sad story. I'm
Right.
sad to report. You know, we love to be in the water this time of year. It's hot, and people like their lakes, which fresh water, warm water, and that can be deadly. There's a South Carolina family we talked about today where their son died from what's called a brain-eating amoeba. And doctors here at Advent Health, they have now invented, and the test has been around for a little bit, they invented a test where you can, if you get it soon enough, maybe this thing can be caught. Because if you don't catch it, it is 97 to 98% fatal.
That's right.
Our community correspondent, Angie Casada, caught up with the doctor who actually developed the test. So let's listen to part of her report.
It's a disease that have a low prevalence, have a high mortality. Close to 97% of people die.
That's why Dr. Jose Alexander and his team at Advent Health developed a test that identifies the amoeba faster than any other in the country.
The idea is to provide the clinician a rapid diagnostic with a sample of spinal fluid and a patient that have a high suspicion of amoeba infection. And this sample arrived to the laboratory, and in approximately 3 to 5 hours, we are able to have a report back.
And the thing is, timing is everything. And if you don't catch it in time, I spoke with a dad. His name is Steve Smelsky. He lost his son Jordan in 2014. They went to Costa Rica, and they were
remember this story, yeah.
they were swimming, and his son had caught this disease, brain-eating amoeba. And what the dad said, by the time they figured out what it was and they took him to the hospital, they have flu-like symptoms, right?
Headache.
Started vomiting. And he said by day 3 in the hospital, his own child didn't know who he was, and they lost him at just 11 years old. Well, when I spoke to Mr. Smelsky tonight, he was very passionate about people knowing about this test.
Yeah.
Had his son had it, probably, if he knew the right questions to ask the doctors when he went to the hospital, his son might still be here. And I just appreciate him taking the time on the phone tonight. We talked for about 40 minutes. And I apologize for asking him about the toughest day of his life. And he says, no, I want to talk about it because I don't want it to happen to somebody else.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you know this is happening and you don't know why it's happening, because he and his son were on the same water slide.
That's
On the
right.
same
you
slide.
can be right next to each other.
But he
One person
didn't get
dies.
it. He
everybody
didn't get
else
it. And
is okay.
it only goes up the nose.
Right.
It only goes up the nose. And I said, if you had anything to say, the first thing you would say to parents if they go to the emergency room and they know they've been, you know, swimming in fresh water, I said, would you say to them, hey, my kid's been in fresh water, please give them this test. I think they have brain eating, they have this disease.
Or it's possible. Yeah.
He said to me, he says, the first thing I would say to parents is don't let your kids swim in fresh water.
Wow.
Just don't let them do it. He says it's too dangerous.
So I understand that. As a Florida kid, that's a little hard for me to digest. You know, I like to go in the fresh water.
Of course.
And I would say it's so rare. So one thing I don't like about what the news is, we tell you these brain-eating amoeba stories, and so you think, well, I can't go in the lake because I'll die, right? Well, 164 cases in the U.S. over the past 60 years. This is incredibly rare. I totally respect what that dad's saying. And
it is,
makes
and
a lot of sense.
And he says it is rare, but it's only rare because we don't know what to look for. And he says there are cases that go back to 1937 because they did a test on someone's tissue and found that they had this.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
so those
he has spent the
those
last
statistics
since his
might
son
not be
passed.
correct.
This is all he has studied. This is all he has done. He has a
poor guy.
foundation to educate people. So you know, while we say that this is the small number, he says, how do we know it's small? We don't even know what to test for, but this test does. So hopefully that will give some people some comfort.
Can I tell you what freaked me out today? Okay, I found out this is the second confirmed case, this young boy in South Carolina.
Yep.
Do you know what the first one is? Have you heard this? The other case involved a woman in Texas who was using tap water with a sinus rinse.
Okay.
And that is how she got a brain-eating amoeba out of her own tap water?
Well, it's called what do you call it? Oh my
neti
gosh,
pot?
a neti pot. And I use those.
I do
and I
too.
get frustrated because you're like, why do you have to use distilled water? This is why you cannot use your tap water, because if your water at home is warm enough, you set the temperature for if that's warm enough and you shoot that up your nose, that's the only place the amoeba goes. That's through your nose. So
That-
you're basically infecting yourself
That
if
is
you don't
crazy,
use
but
distilled water.
To make it through your tap water,
Yeah.
and then, I don't know. That was wild.
I don't
to
want
me.
to scare people,
That
but
blew
it
my-
is.
I don't
it's
want
just
to
a
either.
fact.
I
It's
don't
just a
think you're going to
fact.
die of an amoeba in your tap water. I'm just saying it has happened before, and
Yeah.
so we want you to know about it. So
My goodness.
that's crazy. All right,
Wow.
let's lighten things up a little bit because you have had a very long day. You were amazing out there at
thank
Kennedy
you.
Space Center today.
You know what? I don't mind a long day if it's something I love.
Yes,
You
and
know I
love
love
some
space.
Total space
One of
nerd.
my favorite things. Crew 11 is going up to relieve Crew 10. They have been waiting for this moment for a long time. And right a minute and 7 seconds into the left on the countdown
Right.
clock, they scrub it. I was with photojournalist Homer Salcedo, and we're set up and everything. He goes, "Look over your shoulder," and I turn over, and there's this big dark shaft, rain shaft, just looming, and we're like, "Oh." No way. And sure enough, that was when there was 4 minutes left. And with a minute and 7 seconds left, they scrubbed it. They're going to try it again tomorrow. But we tried to find some people. A lot of people come from all over.
I enjoyed your interviews today, specifically with the kids who were out there.
Some of the
and who
kids we
seemed
can't show.
Yeah, some of them had some very terse
They were-
language.
they were upset.
which was funny. But the other ones were genuinely excited to be out there. I'm thinking it's summertime.
Yeah.
So parents are taking their kids out there
It
and
was
get a
fun.
little space
It was
lesson.
fun to see. Yeah. So I want to show you a couple of the kids I caught up with in the parking lot. We went to the visitor center. Where'd you guys from?
Indiana.
And did you come here just for this?
No, we such a perk. We saw it was happening, so we thought we'd come.
And then it was scrubbed.
Yeah, it was scrubbed.
So will you be back?
Probably not.
What were you guys looking forward to, though?
We wanted to see the launch. Yeah, we wanted to see the launch. We've never seen like an up-close launch, but it's cool. They're probably going to reschedule it. We'll probably come back and see it. It's no biggie.
It's tomorrow.
Really? Okay. Yep.
It's like you said, you won Publishers Clearinghouse.
I loved her surprised look because I could hear them when they walked off and she was asking her parents, it's like, are we coming back tomorrow? Because I think they're from New York as well. These are not the potty mouth New Yorkers.
No, a lot of New Yorkers over there.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. I just enjoyed, and I love that this little girl loved space as much as I did because the commander of this Crew 11 is a woman. Her name is Zena Cardman. This is her first flight into space, and she's commanding this thing. It is so.
And
it's
she has
just,
to wait more time. That's what's crazy to me is we were talking about the time. So you get loaded into that
Oh my
capsule.
gosh, yeah.
You sit there strapped in, claustrophobic, waiting to take off for hours. Then they have a 39-hour trip to finally
They're taking
dock
the scenic route.
at the space
This is the
station.
longest
you
route
got to
they've
go
taken.
around your elbow to get. So they are taking the long
Yeah,
journey there.
yeah.
But that would be a long time to be.
You better like the
stacked
people
in
you're
that
sitting
thing.
next to. You better like them. So they're going to try again tomorrow at 11:43. I don't get to go back out there because you're off tomorrow
Yeah,
night.
we need you here.
Thanks. But I will be watching it online on clickorlando.com, and we'll also have it on YouTube in our new 6 app.
Okay. Sounds
Very
good.
exciting stuff.
I like it. We have some fun stories coming for you after the break. By the way, Dawn, fellow space nerd with
Dawn,
Ginger Gadsden.
love you.
She feels you, Dawn. All right, coming up after the break, we're going to talk about the census and how it may have robbed Florida of what it should have in Washington, D.C. We'll talk about that coming up after the break.
Who did we lose?
We didn't lose anybody, Ginger. Welcome back to News 6 Tonight. We are so glad to have you with us. Interesting story today. A study came out that was checking to see how the census that was performed matches up with actual population in some states.
So we lost people. We did lose some people. See?
There you go. Okay, you brought it back around. I didn't know what you were talking about for a second. Okay, so we did, yes. So apparently, according to this study, that Florida was undercounted by about 750,000 residents. That's 3.5% of our entire population. Now you might say, who cares? It's just the census. This girl cares over here. This guy cares.
We care, yeah.
We're supposed to have a whole other person in Congress.
That's who they didn't count. That's
didn't.
who we lost.
Right.
We lost that whole person.
We lost a whole representative to our state.
Yeah, they're saying that undercount cost the state $21 billion in federal assistance. Billion. That undercount.
When you monetize it like that, it really is crazy. Governor Ron DeSantis spoke about this today. Let's listen.
There's some districts in this state where you have way more votes being cast than in other districts in these races. And you wonder, how is it that ends up shaking out the way it does? So I do think that we're malapportioned within the state as well as malapportioned in the country.
Okay, so it's an interesting issue, and it's interesting for the governor to be talking about it, because what some are saying is they think that the reason states like Florida and Texas have undercounted people is because folks who are immigrants, maybe illegal or legal, are afraid to be documented by the government, and so they weren't counted in the census. Now,
it's a big Hispanic undercount.
On the other hand, some places were overcounted, according to this study. Places like California, who were encouraging immigrants to be a part of the census. So it's possible that some of the language that politicians are using are impacting how many people are actually able to be counted in the census.
Yeah, and the governor has called, and he said this before, he could call for what's called a unique mid-decade census update. So maybe we could make up for those numbers and get a more accurate count. Although with everything we have happening with immigration now, I don't know how that would work out.
Not sure if the scales would balance on that one.
I mean, we might actually lose some people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It would be interesting.
We'd have to be very careful of what we choose to do there.
And Republicans are looking to maybe do some redistricting instead of having to wait that time to do it at that 5-year period, which could really change things on a state level as well.
Stay tuned, as we like to say.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, this is a story I love, but Matt absolutely hates it.
I don't hate it.
You don't like it.
It's just visually not appealing.
It's visually not appealing, but if you think about when's the last time you used a physical paper map?
1995, probably.
Did you really?
Maybe.
I don't think you did.
No.
Unless you used something like, have you ever used something like a triptychs? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, then you didn't use a map.
I remember you'd go to the gas station and they had the little laminated maps in there.
They still do.
You could buy
they
those.
Still do.
They still have them?
I think they still do.
No, I don't believe you.
I don't know, but we went on a Christmas trip and my husband pulled out a map and we needed it because we would have driven, had we gone by GPS, we would have driven off of a road that is unfinished.
I'll tell you what, if anybody ever hits the United States with an EMP,
That's
we're
all
all cooked.
Okay,
I'm driving into a pool.
The reason I'm telling you about this story, and we're talking so much about it, is because the picture we have to represent it is not very good. So it's a map from 1765. It's more than 200 years old. And they think this is the first time.
Look at that video. My God. Aren't you compelled, audience? Don't you click away.
I need to finish this
We have more stuff to come.
This is the first time Seminole County was actually recognized on a map. And I think that is cool.
Put them on the map.
We're talking about our local Seminole County. That's how long it's been on this map. They unveiled this map. It was found somewhere in London, which I find interesting. And look at that. Look at Lake, was that Lake Harney? Okay, we can stop showing that now. I'm embarrassed.
No, I think you should leave it up, Chris. I think she needs to sit with this story. Thank you, Chris.
Sit with my decisions.
Sit with your decisions.
Let's
look at this compelling old map on your phone.
Anyway, so the county had the big unveiling to kick off the planning for next July when America celebrates 250 years and Seminole County will celebrate however many years. Happy birthday to Orlando. It celebrated its sesquicentennial.
Is that what you call
That's
it?
what a 150 is, yeah.
Centennial.
That's my $5 word for tonight.
Sanford in Seminole County was expected to be like Miami. It was supposed to be the big place, and it didn't ever. I mean, obviously it's a great place, but it got skipped by Orlando, it seems. Did you get enough out of that, do you think?
I enjoyed it.
Okay, good. I enjoyed it too, actually, much more than I thought. All right, we're going to check in with David Nazario. He's in for Jonathan Kegas tonight. David, maybe you have some old 1700s maps you could show us with the weather running over them?
You know, to tell you the truth, back in the day when I first started with the Air Force as a weather forecaster, we trained up on the classic paper maps. It was a lot of fun. We broke out the colored pencils, the crayons and everything to draw the cold fronts, the troughs, the ridges. I kind of miss those days, to tell you the truth.
Do you? Yeah.
Do you smoke a corncob pipe? What's going on?
Do you have a monocle?
You know, we had someone in the class who had a monocle, too. It's funny. He was Airman Sears was his name.
Oh, my
Classic
gosh.
monocle and pipe smoking individual for sure. He loved the paper maps as well. So we may not be totally cooked, as Matt had said earlier, if all goes, you know, thanks to an EMP.
Yeah, we need some old souls
I'm
out
not
there to
mad at
keep
it.
us
What you got
alive.
going on in the Weather Center tonight?
So to tell you the truth, especially since getting back, you know, the weather, let alone life itself, has kind of hit like a pile of bricks. You ever need a vacation from a vacation? That's kind of where I'm at. But if we could go ahead and pull up something I got for everybody on links here. Let's go ahead and take that in. This is kind of the headlines that we've got for now. Sea breeze the next couple days is going to continue to rock and roll, and I know it's kind of cut off where our faces are on the stream right now, but sea breezes are going to continue, and unfortunately, even though it looks like we're going to start to trend back down to what we should typically feel like during a summer afternoon, a summer evening here in Central Florida, I don't quite think we're going to be that cool. Relatively, when you look at the numbers, it is going to come down from the whopping 110, 115 heat indexes we've seen the last several days. But, you know, on average, we're going to be back down to 101, 105, 106 in some spots, especially the closer you get to the Orlando metro area, some other places that have been really barbecuing out there for a large majority of the back half of July. But this weekend, like you can see there in the second bullet point, we do have a cold front coming down. We're going to be watching that closely to see how much our rain chances go up, see if maybe a few of us out there will get a little more rain than what we already have been. And that means the evening lightning shows are likely to persist through the weekend. And then at the bottom there, I wouldn't be David Nazario if I wasn't out here watching the tropics into August. So coming up here at the 9:30 show, I'm going to take the second half of that and kind of deep dive into all things tropics and what it is that we've been monitoring for the month of August as we start that uphill climb towards the peak of the hurricane season, guys.
Yeah, speaking of uphill climb, you have somebody from Claremont already tuning in to ask you how many inches of rain Claremont will get in Lake County tomorrow. So he wants a specific forecast. He's got to answer that. I hope you answer that at 9:30, David,
Yeah,
because we don't have
check in
time
with him
right
at
now. Yes,
9:30.
exactly. Thank you, David.
I'm sure he'll look that up. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with a big old mama turtle.
Wow, those words are terrible when you're talking about a lady.
I'm talking about a turtle lady. I don't think she can hear me. We'll be right back with a look at a turtle release in Florida.
I love those.
After a rough news day, we need it.
Yeah.
Welcome back for the final segment of News 6 Plus.
No, it's tonight.
News 6 tonight on News,
On
6,
News
Plus.
6 Plus.
Still getting used to it.
Yeah,
Still working out the kinks.
It all's the same. It's the same.
It's all one family. So we had a turtle release today, Gigi.
I love turtles. If you know anything about
that
me,
turtle
I love
is your
turtles.
like spirit
It's
animal.
my spirit
right?
animal. I love them. Thousands of people gathered on a South Florida beach. This turtle was found back in May, beat up, as they sometimes are, because they take boat strikes and all kinds of other things. I just want to show you the video. I mean, the way that they cheered her on. She's 300
She
pounds.
had a whole crowd.
And I love that people cared enough to just gather around and like go. Her name is Pennywise, by the way.
Is she named after the clown from that horror movie?
I hope not. I don't think so. I hope not. But anyway, look at her go. And look at the people just standing there cheering her on. And what's great about these guys is that she's pregnant, right?
She's got some babies.
Yeah. And they hope that when turtles lay their egg on a particular beach, every year they return to that same beach. So they're hoping that she will come back.
Think she would come back to this beach where all these people were taking pictures?
Thousands of miles every year, and they somehow end up on the same beach where their babies hatched.
I'm so glad we got to end the show on that.
I find that fascinating and
Good
love that.
stuff.
So go Pennywise, go.
And come back and lay those eggs right there. We'll see you at 10 and 11.
Have a good night.